Entire Tostar, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back with Delphi and aTnSocke for this last match in the best of 3 series between these two fantastic players. Delphi been proving that he is a macro king of Zerg, taking the entire map on each of his games and just puking out a lot of those furry little critters that we do call roaches and hydras, whereas Socke at the same time proving that he is the master of 2 to 3 basing and puking out a ton of colossi and then void rays. So all these two going to be facing off in this last match. Let's see what happens here. Hopefully it shall be a good one. It is on Xel'Naga Caverns. aTnSocke spawning at the bottom position whilst Delphi spawning at the top. Sending out his first Overlord just to do a little bit of scouting. Neither player doing anything too tricky right now, so looks like we're going to be in for a bit of a macro game once again. aTnSocke throwing down this pylon in order to be able to place his cybernetics core and gateway in a similar to position to how we all do it. So Delphi just going to be probably going for that spawning pool first and then into gas. We have seen him used time and time again in both of his last matches, as well as in the match against Hasu. And it looks like a very tried and tested build from Delphi that he uses in most of his PvZs. And indeed he has gone for that spawning pool and will be going for the gas extremely fast, and now in fact. So that gateway going down for Socke on the typical 13 that he likes to get it on, grabbing that assimilator as well on 14, and just going to be doing his usual stuff. Nothing too tricky coming out here for Socke. Delphi right now going to be once again patrolling up here with this probe, trying to deny any kind of expansion that does end up going down for Delphi, or tries to go down for Delphi. Delphi going to be sending out this probe to see what's going on in the base, as those overlords are a bit too slow, and they'll be getting in position across the middle of the map anyway. Socke throwing down a pylon in this position to make sure that if this one did get sniped off, then these two buildings would not be underpowered. And going to be getting out that first Zealot in order to ward away any kind of Zerglings that do come along, placing it in that choke. And is it just me, or when you actually put a gateway there and a forge there, if you put a Zealot there, for some reason it doesn't block it off? Maybe it was just me being unlucky in one of my games, but that's what happened, and it was really, really frigging annoying. But yeah, anyway, no worries, no worries. So we do have Zergling speed on the way for Delphi, as well as a Queen just about to finish. Warp gates are being researched, and that Zealot has been produced. A second assimilator now just finishing for Socke, so probably going to be going for 3-gate expand, which is the tried and tested good old method that we normally see being used against Zergy babies, and Zergy is going to be running around with his Zergy rings, or Zergy rings, and they're going to be coming to try and get up the ramp, but to no avail as this Zealot is blocking it nicely. Corona boosting this gate, cybernetics core, and there's a sentry on the way to fend this off. These guys are just going to be poking away at this, but it's going to prove to no effect as the sentry is now out. A second gateway now going down, and that third gateway indeed going down for Socke. The expansion now going down for Delphi, so Socke is going to be going with that general 3-gate expand, unless he ends up putting something near this pylon. Could put a Stargate there, we don't know just yet, but I highly doubt it, as we have more sentries in production which will be able to secure him his expansion pretty easily. Normal, typical placement of overlords at this point, and this Queen is going to be lumbering over here. I'm surprised we haven't seen. Indeed, a few zones are going to be transferring right now and going to be taking up on these minerals, and a Zergling trying to get in there, but going to be moving out with these sentries. Gateway warp gate technology has just finished, and these Zerglings are doing a little bit of a dance, going to try and get around, but I doubt they're going to get much at all. This probe sticking close to his units right now, as he doesn't want to lose it and wants to be able to expand as freely as he possibly can, and more sentries now coming out in order to be able to just expand pretty nicely. So we're going to see that expansion anytime now. Anytime now. A forge? No! Come on! Not a forge. I want to see an expansion. So, throwing down that forge and then an expansion. But I'm not so sure that he required that forge just then. But meh. I don't care. Meh. A Roach Warren now going down for Delphi, so this looks exactly the same as the build that we saw just before. Double Roach Warren. Double Roach Warren. a double Roach Warren. Please tell me he's going to realise and cancel. We shall see if he cancels. But 2 Roach Warrens currently on the way, and these sentries are going to be looking around to see anything that is going on. Photon Cannon now going down to help the expansion, and 1 Roach Warren has just completed. Layer is almost complete as well, and I'm really curious as to see if that Roach Warren does end up being cancelled, or he's going to get double upgrades. He is getting Glial Reconstitution from this one. Is he going to cancel it? No! So I'm assuming Tunneling Claws is going to come very soon. I doubt it. Burrow is on the way though, so maybe Tunneling Claws will come as well. Tunneling Claws on the way! Oh my god! Double Roach Warren upgrade build! Oh my god! This is amazing! And extremely interesting at the same time. So, no doubt Protoss may scout one of these Roach Warren, but I'm not so sure that he'll scout the second one and not know what's coming. This is quite interesting. So we do have a Stargate on the way for Socke, which is going to be very, very good against the Roach Warren, especially if he just gets 1 Void Ray, because 1 Void Ray can shut down a million roaches, and indeed he is getting a Void Ray, so this is going to be quite an interesting play from Socke. But at the same time, I'm really interested in this double Roach Warren play by Delphi. Maybe he's just said, balls to it, let's just go for this interesting double Roach Warren play with these double upgrades and see what happens. But he is going to have these upgrades very, very fast, and it could very well take Socke off guard if he doesn't prepare for it. But that being said, the Photon Cannon is in play, so if he tries to burrow anywhere near this, he is going to be in dire straits. He is positioning all his roaches down this right hand side, so he's going to be moving in here, and that would be just out of the range of this Photon Cannon. But the Photon Cannon can see further than it shoots, so he will be able to have detection around here while still not be able to shoot there. So we'll have to see what happens right now. Oh, he is coming in with the sneaky burrow! The sneaky burrow! But at the same time, Socke is moving out across the map, and he's moving back slightly as the Zerglings up at the top of the map are going to be chasing off those units. And as you can see, these roaches are burrowing, and oh, they're going extra Photon Cannon, they're being seen! No, run back! But as you can see, fantastic placement with these Photon Cannons by Socke. But at the same time, these roaches are still doing a lot of damage. Double flank roaches going on right now. We really need to keep on top of the action. Nice burrow from those roaches, and whilst these roaches do run away from this single Void Ray, and it seems like he's just going to be annoying and as pesky as possible with these roaches. He really needs to burrow and run away as quickly as he possibly can, because these guys really cannot afford to be stood next to this Photon Cannon when it does finish. Unburrowing, getting a few probe kills there, and going to be burrowing once again, but the Observer is now out, and he's going to be able to chase off these roaches, no problem. He doesn't realise that this Observer is seeing all these roaches, but the roaches regenerate so fast underground, it's ridiculous, and these roaches are going to need to run away pretty damn soon. In fact, they've all just gone down, so he actually was sacrificing those because he knew he couldn't save them. So, Immortal's coming out now for Socke, and we do have 2 Robux facility and a Robo Bay going down as well, so he's going to be moving into this Colossi ball that he has been doing before, and Hydra is now on the way, as well as those grooved spines that have just finished or just about to finish, and ranged weapons level 1 going up for Delphi, as well as taking his gold. So whilst all that was happening, he's really keeping an eye on what he's doing back at base, and he's on 123 supply right now, whilst Socke is only on 84. Oh no, Socke falling far behind here at this point, losing a lot of probes to that initial roach attack, whilst the roaches could just easily be replenished, and throwing down a few more pylons now. Nice pylon placement here to make sure none of that hijinks can go on again from the Zergy player, and Protoss ground weapons level 1 on the way as well. So, a nice creep spread here by Delphi, not as good as his past creep spreads, but he will get there soon enough, as he is a master of creep spreading. And I really didn't realise that those crystals, those gold crystals glowed gold. Do the blue ones go? Oh, maybe I'm an idiot, yeah. or I'm an idiot, that's perfectly reasonable. And a Spire now going down for Delphi, and moving along here, trying to kill as much creep as possible, but he's going to need to move back pretty soon. A Void Ray coming around here, trying to get a few pots off, but the Hydras did chase them back. Nice use of force fields there, delaying the push of these roaches, as there is a menacing force here, and Socke doesn't realise this, but this lone Colossi will be enough to probably ward away these units, as Nice placement of force fields there, trapping a lot of these roaches back, but he really needs to move back with this Colossi, otherwise, otherwise it is going to get caught out of place. And now these slow Hydralisks moving off the creep are going to trundle their way around and focusing down on the Colossi, and the Colossi moves back with 1 HP. Oh my god, that was so close. He would have lost that. That would have been a really bad spot there for Socke. And Delphi now just reinforcing with more Hydralisks, spreading some creep with these Overlords in order to try and speed them up even just a little bit, and now throwing down more gateways in order to fend this off in Socke's position. But this gold base is going to be up and running pretty soon, and thermal lances are on the way from Socke. So going to be shooting away that Overlord. Run away! And that Overlord does indeed go down, but we have another base going up for Delphi whilst these back rocks are being destroyed. So they're going to be taken down, so he has an easy reinforcement path through there instead of having to go all the way around. And a few spine crawlers now going down for Delphi as well in this forward position. I really love forwardly positioned spine crawlers, as they can really turn the tides in a battle if someone is pushing up the middle. So Socke actually now taking his gold as well, and I trapped my mic between my, or mic cord between my legs because that was dumb. And a lot of Colossi out here now. He's just double producing these Colossi. Absolutely amazing use of these double robos. Really could get a few more chrono boosts off on those as well though. And a Void Ray now coming around in order to do a little bit of harassment on this Observer, what am I on about? Overlord. And probably getting nice charge up on there, and going to be moving back as these Corruptors are going to chase him off. But the Corruptors are just a bit faster than that Void Ray, so he's going to have to stick in there. And he realises that there's only one, but then realises 3 more come in and do indeed take that out. But at the same time, that Void Ray did go down, but a massive engagement going off here at the gold. And these Stalkers really need to get Blink pretty soon, otherwise he's going to be in bad spot for actually taking out those Corruptors, which will end up doing a massive amount of damage to these Colossi. This is this best of 3 has been like watching the same game over, but just on different maps. Interesting. But I'm pretty sure that both players could have done different things, but choose not to. And wow, I'm getting huge amounts of frame rate lag. What on earth is going on? I'm pausing. Not sure why that frame rate lag came in, but apparently it did. And those Colossi just absolutely roasting some of those roaches. But the Corruptors now coming in, darting in order to try and take out a few Colossi. One Colossi does go down, but a few Corruptors have gone down as well. And this is a huge engagement here. Nice use of force fields, really stopping those units from actually getting in range of any of the Protoss units, whilst the Stalkers were firing down on the Corruptors and taking out a lot of them. But more Corruptors are coming in to reinforce here. Interesting use of the force field there, not really doing that much. But now roasting away a lot of these units. I'm going to be forced to flee back just a little bit as the Protoss feels as if he's overextending himself. But the damage has been done to the Zerg. The gold base did go down, but Socke's gold base is just now up and running. A nice look at this Sim City of Socke, just placing these cannons just behind the buildings here so not many can get in range of it, and making it just that little bit harder to actually kill them off. Warping in a few more Zealots now. I'm really surprised he hasn't got that Twilight Council up and running, but he is making a push in for the gold again. I'm not so sure if this is the best avenue of attack, since there are a few Spine Crawlers here which can quite easily be avoided. I would like to see him take out the base right up in this top corner, but he's going to be swinging around to this overlook and trying to take out units over here. Taking out the creep, nice use of that. And he does see everything that's going on, as he does have the watchtower. Going to be pulling back from that spine crawler, needless damage there. And these roaches trying to get a few easy kills, but going to move back, as this is a really bad choke for someone to engage in, especially if the opponent gets a really nice concave off here, or even there, in comparison to actually engaging there. So quite a bit of chrono boost saved up here, but still, do we have more Colossi coming out? We don't have any more coming out, but currently Socke is on 181 whilst the Zerg is on 164, so he really did a lot of damage during these engagements, and we have quite a few sentries out here going to be throwing down some really nice force fields if the need is called for it. But there are a lot of Corruptors out here, and just trying to establish this gold base again. It gets hit once again by this Colossi ball, and these Corruptors are going to be flying in. Really needs to place down some good force fields, good use Guardian Shield there, but the force fields, force fields, force fields. There was a pause, but the force fields do go down a little bit too late. I would have liked to have seen the army being split in half, especially in order to negate as much damage as possible whilst trying to take out those corruptors. And it seems he was forced to cancel that gold base once again, so really good position for Socke right here. He's preventing the Zerg from taking too much of the map at any one time, but now these corruptors are going to be flying around and trying to take out as many of these colossi as they possibly can. Good use of this Stelnaga watchtower though, so he can get vision of where the corruptors are going at any one point, and it seems like Blink is now on the way, as well as ground weapons level 1, 2 even, sorry, and a second forge as well as more Colossus are on the way. So Hydras and Corruptors now on the way still for Zergy, and Zergy really doesn't know what to do at this point. Zergy is in a bit of a bad spot. There are a lot of Stalkers out here, and if they get a good shots off, and wow, look at the amount of those Corruptors, that is tons, but there is just too much in the size of ground army, or just use force fields there. He could have chased this down and done a lot of damage, but now all the Colossi are down, and a big split up of these units really needs to take out as much of this ground army as possible, and there is just too many Corruptors here. He really overcommitted too much to this Corruptor count, and he did take out all the Colossi, but at the same time his ground army is just not big enough, and warping in a few units here, oh actually they must have ran around the side, and they have been taken out by the big ball of units, but these Corruptors are just pretty useless right now. He really needs to get his ground army in here, throw a load of corruptions down on the Immortals, flanking with these Hydras, but nice use of those force fields, splitting up the units, and these guys in the back are just doing nothing, but at the same time there are a lot of units coming around from the back, and these Corruptors are just doing absolutely nothing once again. They have corrupted a few of these units, but not enough. And the nice blink there, taking out a few of those units, and I really don't see what the Zerg can do now since that expansion did go down. And Delphi does call GG, and that is the end of that, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much for watching this best of 3, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time.